Good evening and welcome to Social Media Boot Camp for Parents and Families tonight. My name is Josh Oakes and I'm really honored that you all came out. You're great parents for being here tonight, and your school district is incredible for hosting this. I travel the country speaking to about 30,000 students a year, and I haven't seen a school do Parent University or a district like this do something like this, where it's many schools over many days. It's really awesome. So I'm very impressed with your district, and I don't say that just because they hired me. They are great people. Okay, so here's what I'd like to do tonight. We're gonna move very quickly, but I do wanna hear from you, and that's because I wanna squeeze about 100 minutes of stuff into 90 minutes. It's gonna be warm, so I'm not putting on my jacket and rolling up my sleeves. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So first of all, thank you so much to the Peninsula Education Foundation for inviting me to do this. I could not be more honored. I gave my first student talk here in this very room several years ago with Frank as the principal, and I'm honored that it's come so far. First, a little bit about me. I ran for politics in Hermosa Beach, California, just down the street from here in 2009. I was the youngest person on the ballot, and here's a picture of myself voting for me in the booth on the day of the election. I was so nervous. I knew very, very little about politics, but as a small business owner, I knew that as the youngest person on the ballot, that there's one thing I had that none of the other candidates had, and it's what puts me here today. I knew that when somebody would see my bicycle with a sign on it, or see the sign on a building or a house, or see it on one of my friends' bicycles, that I knew that I could control they would then say, who is this guy, Josh Oakes, and what's he all about? And I knew that they would go to one place to go find that out. Do you guys know where they'd go? They'd go to Google, the biggest search engine, and I knew that I could control my online search results in a way that none of the other candidates knew how to do. So that when you met me on your doorstep in person, I knew that I could follow up with an online reputation that was stellar, that was full of positive testimonials, and I would create, and this is one of the themes tonight, I would turn my Google image results and my Google text results into a positive portfolio of accomplishments. So all of a sudden you met me in person and I gave you a good vibe, I was positive, and all of a sudden you would definitely want to vote for me. Now, this is going to work also exactly the same in getting your kids into the world's best universities and the world's best companies. How do I know that? The book that you have in your hand is contributed to by awesome people at both universities and companies. I left politics. I lost by 350 votes to the incumbent mayor of Hermosa Beach, California, who's a great guy and a dear friend of mine now. And I wrote a book called Light, Bright, and Polite, How to Use Social Media in Business. I traveled the country training some of the world's biggest brands how to use social media in a friendly way to get more customers. One of the big companies that saw me said, hey, we're Universal Studios Hollywood. We'd like you to speak to some of the teens that are at our theme park. Can you translate this into teenage stuff? And I said, heck yes. So we turned it into a prototype event that became the book that's in your hands. Tonight, I'd like to share with you some updated version of that and data from that. But this isn't just about colleges. You see, I can show you a few techniques on how to get a job at any one of the companies that we've worked at, or at least how to shine online to impress their HR department. I want to inspire your students and you to look to the future. We're going to talk about a ton of tactics around that tonight. So this is where I started my career, right out of USC. I went to Disney Studios for 4 or 5 years and worked in the marketing department. And we're going to teach your students, or we already have perhaps, if you have PVIS students, we're going to teach them how to be little brand marketers for themselves. Okay, now I want to walk in really quickly to some discussion topics. What are we going to talk about tonight? First, should my kids be public on social media? And I'm going to walk you through not only the answer to that, but exactly which ages you should consider. Next, do colleges really have time to search for me? I'm going to walk you through that answer and exactly how you can learn what your online results are. How can I monitor my students online? I'll show you exactly where to go. How can I stay updated on the latest apps, Josh? I'll show you exactly the solution. I'm not going to show you the top 5 apps kids should be on. I'm going to show you the top 6. And then next, how to have a dialogue with your kids. And this is the key. You're probably coming tonight saying, wow, he's going to, and I'm going to loosen my top button because it is warm in here and I run around like a crazy person. So yeah, it's going to get warm. We're going to have fun. But one of the biggest keys tonight is that there is no magic pill. There's not going to be an app that I'm going to give you and going to run around, and I'm not going to use buzzwords tonight. Tonight, my one goal is that you come, perhaps maybe a little bit confused, and you leave a little bit more comfortable. That's all that I want, and I will have felt like a success if that happens. So the one big key, and the theme tonight, there's a couple themes, but the one is you need to talk to your students about this stuff. And the more you talk to them, even if it's awkward, even if they're making fun of you, that you're not on Twitter and they are, the more that you talk to them about it, the more that they are going to feel comfortable coming to you if something's wrong. And second, the more you're going to know what's going on and they're going to teach you. So we'll show you a lot of different tactics on that. But the key, the best app is a dialogue. It's very old school. Okay, and then how to take the next steps. I've got a little trick for you. So when should my kid be public on social media? I'm going to give you a few tactical tips, and then I want to hear from you. So while I'm going over this slide, I want you to think, why are you here tonight? What are your biggest frustrations with social media? Do you have questions about a certain app? Are you frustrated in a certain way? Is there too much screen time? I'd love for you to raise your hand at the end of this slide. So first of all, when should my kid be public? Well, you decide when. You see, you are the real experts, not me. I'm simply a leading learner. I run around industries and try things and then turn around and share the data. And that's merely all that I'm doing here. I tried this in politics. It worked very well. And companies agree with me. But you decide when your kid wants to get on that highway. You are the expert. Josh will show you how to get on the on-ramp and to all of a sudden merge into the traffic that is social media. I'll show you how to do it safely, and I'll show you how to do it in a way that's very smart so that you're succeeding downstream. Now, first of all, how could, Josh, when should my kids be public? Well, here's my professional suggestion, because I know that you want a cheat sheet. Here's a cheat sheet. If your students are 0 to 13, they should be 100% private. They should not have anything online that they're publicly sharing on a daily basis. Lock that down. If your student is between the ages of 14 to 15, it is now the time to begin having a family discussion regarding what should go public. And that's because by the age of 15, you should consider posting some positive images and volunteer photos on social media so that by the age of 17, colleges should be able to find you and a positive online footprint around your results for your student. And that's because colleges tell me all the time, we just want to find the student. We're going to go search for them online. There's less and less seats at colleges, and there's more and more applicants. So they want to find someone, and they're looking for any type of social media accounts to say, hey, we've got a bunch of 4.0s. We've only got one person we can let in. Let's use social media to quickly find out who's the most positive. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Okay, any questions here? Okay, let's go ahead and look at, really fast, some family social media tips. Okay, I want you, how many of us are friends with our students on one network, at least one network? Raise your hand, please. Okay, a few of us. So how many of us want to be friends with our students on a network when they jump on? No, none of you? Okay, a few of us. If you do get that privilege, or you currently have that privilege, I want you to listen to this bullet. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I promise you, in the end of tonight, you will see my train of thought, and it's a little bit different, and that's because I want to bring you up to speed on what other parents are doing. First of all, consider not commenting directly on the students' posts. Instead, use their posts and consider starting a discussion around the dinner table. You see, my brother-in-law, one of my brother-in-laws, gets super secret information for the government to do some really cool things to keep us all safe. And it has to do with our northern and southern borders. It's pretty awesome if I told you what he does. But he has some people that are informants that give him information. It's pretty amazing. Do you think he runs around telling people that this person's my informant and he runs around? No, that would ruin it, right? So what he does is he just is very gentle at listening. Well, you have an informant also, and that's being friends with your students on social media. You have secret data, secret information. You're like a spy, and you get to see that. But what your students are telling me more often than not is, Mom and Dad, please don't comment on my pictures. Please don't tell me how much you love me when you see me post a selfie and how very excited you are to see me for dinner tonight, right? Now, your students love to have you do that, and maybe you have a very special relationship with your student and they want you to do that, and that's fine. You can throw these ideas out the window. And tonight, please don't take everything please take it with a grain of salt. This is not all fact, it's all stuff that we've tested and it works. But if you do get the privilege of being friends with your students on social media, consider instead using that as a dialogue starter in the car, around the dinner table. Consider just letting them have a little bit of their space, because they may unfriend you if you comment too much. Okay, we all have those friends. We know that as adults. Number 2, I want you to be the cool parents on Instagram if you do ever decide to sign up. We hear this from students all the time. Mom, you don't understand. You're posting way too much on Instagram. And students want to tell their parents, post less than once a day. In fact, if you can, just post less than 3 times in a week. And the reason for that is it's a mobile system. It doesn't have the algorithm that Facebook does to slow down your posts in people's feeds. Because we all know that on Facebook, we have some friends that post too much, right? And we're always talking at a dinner table, wow, I really need to unfriend or unfollow Sally or Bill, right? We all have that. But on Instagram, if you have somebody unfollow you or unfriend you, it all of a sudden changes things a little bit more serious there, because they don't have the same algorithm. So next, consider taking a classy group photo and consider having your students teach you how to post it on Instagram, Twitter, or any of the networks we're going to look at tonight. And here's why. I want you to consider writing a great message below. I'll show you the exact message you could write. And this will show them that you want to be discovered. Your student all of a sudden will say, wait, Mom, you took a photo at a company event and you want me to show you how to post it and say thank you to your company? Well, you think they're going to see it? Oh, absolutely they're going to see it. You're gently putting your student as the expert, having them teach you how to use one of the apps in the green zone that I'm going to show you, and you're subtly showing them, hey, everything's public, and I want my company to actually see this, and I want to make them proud of what I'm doing and posting on social media. It's a great way to start the dialogue and all that stuff. Okay. Next, and also, when you do this, and your students are teaching you how to use these apps, you're starting to get closer to them, and when you understand what they talk about when they say retweet and hearts and likes and all this silly stuff, then if something ever goes wrong, you will have talked with them about that, and they'll feel a little bit more comfortable to maybe come and tell you, hey, remember how I showed you that? Somebody did that to me, and they did it in a weird way, and this is really stressful. So you're opening up dialogue a little bit more. Okay, and last, consider when your students are teaching you something new, how to retweet, how to Snapchat, consider not using the phrase, why would I ever want to do that? Instead, consider using, okay, what happens when I do that? Or, okay, what's next? And the reason for that is people scientifically say that we put up barriers if we all of a sudden can't get used to a new paradigm of some sort. Why would I ever want to do that? Your student's not going to know how to explain why they do that. They'll just stop teaching you and realize you don't understand. But what I want all of you to do is to be learning from your student. Turn them into the expert when it comes to social media, because later on, you will be the expert of life. So all of a sudden you can tell your student, hey, I want you to teach me how to use Twitter or Instagram, or I want to post this. You're wiser on this app than I am. A little subtle use of wisdom, and then at a later date, you can tell your student, hey, I'm wiser in this part of life. You were smart in the app. I would like to take the keys to the Ferrari now and drive this situation. Okay, next. I want to give you some parent concerns from nationwide from parents, and then I want to hear from a couple of you. And I've given you a homework assignment to give me your concerns, so let's go ahead and do that in a sec. First concern, Josh, does UCLA really have time to Google all 100,000 applicants? Your second question should be, do they really have 100,000 applicants? They did. In 2013, they had about 100,000 applicants. The answer is yes, if your student is awesome. If they're going towards a competitive program, they're going to Google and search online for a percentage of them. And because you're all here, you're great parents, you turned up for this, that means your students are going to be those people that they search. And the good thing is we're going to show you a few tactical tips on how to make sure they shine online. Next, should my kid be public or private? I showed you exactly why. Eventually they should be public, but they should start out private. And next, is Snapchat safe? The answer is no. But we're going to look at exactly how it can be safe and not safe. Okay. Next, how can I keep up with social media, Josh? There's an app out. There's a new app out each week. I feel like I can never become an expert. I have an answer for you tonight, and it's going to be a series of videos that my staff creates to keep people safe and smart online. Every one of the biggest apps that's out there, I'm going to have a 5-minute free video that you can watch at a later date. Tonight I'm going to give you 2 of those videos and get you hooked on how easy it is to watch them, and to teach you from a parent's perspective how the app works. Next and last, how do I have a dialogue with my kids? Well, I've already given you a ton of those little tips, and we're going to use more as the evening progresses. How are we doing so far? Pretty good? Okay, great. All right. So first, let's start with my company's website. And the reason we do this is because I want you to know, after this event is over, there are a lot of resources that, if there is ever a cyberbullying video or an app that comes out, we're going to make a 5-minute video on it within a few days. We did this with Burnbook, with After School app, a bunch of different apps. If you click on this button on our website, learn about good and bad teen apps. It takes you to a page that lists every app that we suggest in the green zone, that we are scared of in the gray zone, and that we professionally recommend that you absolutely delete in the red zone. That's green, gray, and red. Josh, why is the green zone good? The green zone is productive. That means posts can be discovered by Google, and their efforts can be discovered by colleges. Next, the green zone, the apps that I'm about to show you that eventually can be very good to be on, is also professional. Colleges want and expect to find you on these networks. Next, they're also positive. Green zone networks are tied to a student's real identity, encouraging better behavior. We've all heard about these anonymous apps. It turns out the students act really weird on those. Your student might behave in a totally different manner, one that they didn't even expect to behave on. And next and last, they're parent-friendly. Parents can track their kids' presence a little easier on the green zone networks. What are the green zone networks? Well, let's start with the first 3. We've got 6 to look through. How many of us are on Facebook? Great. We're familiar. Now I want you to look at a new app in a few ways. I want to slice each one of these in a way and show you how to do this on your own if there's a new app that comes out. Number 1, where is Facebook located? Do you know what country they're located in? In the United States of America. Very important to ask yourself, because if heaven forbid something happens, we have jurisdiction over their company, our police departments, to go and say, we want all the IP addresses, we want to know where this person's at. That's very, very important. Number 2, how do they make their money? Well, they have an ad network that pumps in advertising, and so we know that how they work, and they're going to be around for a while. So number 1, where are they based? Number 2, how do they make money? And number 3, how do you post on them? Well, on Facebook, you can post from your phone and from a desktop, and also from your iPad, which is a hybrid. You can also view it from a phone and a desktop. Now, let's look at Instagram real quick. How many of us are on Instagram? Okay, about less than half the room. Now, Instagram is mostly a mobile app, if you will. You can only post from your phone or from your iPad, some kind of device that's mobile. You can view it on your desktop though. So, and it does change your Google results. Now, where is Instagram based? Well, let me step back. Facebook noticed that your students aren't on Facebook. They were leaving Facebook. Do you guys know why? Because you're on Facebook, right? So they left Facebook, and where did they go? They went to Instagram. And Instagram's really hot right now. So Facebook went and bought Instagram. So Instagram is now based in the United States, as it always was, and it has their same ad platform, somewhat safe. I'm not saying it is safe. I'm merely saying that we know who they are, who their president is, their CEO, and we can keep up with them, right? And there's a reason why I'm showing you in the green zone, where are they located, where do they make their money, and then also where can you post from so that you can keep up with that. And Instagram is mostly mobile, but it does affect your Google results. Next, LinkedIn. Josh, we're in middle school here. Why are you talking about LinkedIn? Well, how many of you are on LinkedIn? Raise your hand. Majority of the room. I professionally suggest, as an employer, that you jump on LinkedIn. If you have a career, if you want to change your Google results, it's amazing. And it's a place where all adults can really hang out to connect with people, and as they change careers, you can still stay updated with them. They have the same LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn's important because they realized a lot of students were jumping on there to positively affect their social media or Google image results, or Google results on their first page. So they lowered the age restriction to 14 years and above in the United States. That means If your student is 15 and you are okay with them starting to dip their toe in this professional network, you could go on and set them up with an account. And because it knows that they're only 15, if they're under 18, it hides their image. You're only allowed to put one image up. It hides their image from everybody that's not their friend. It hides their last name from everyone that's not a connection. But it does positively impact their Google results. So by the age of 17, when someone searches for them, LinkedIn comes up. And it's when they turn 18, they all of a sudden have a positive online Google image result. And people can find the student that they're looking for, which is yours, in a positive way. Great place to dip your toe in social media because there's almost zero cyberbullying, and it's a good place to start putting your, well, I'm going to show you a video on this. I'll stop talking about LinkedIn. How many of us are on Pinterest? Great. We're going to talk about Pinterest later. It can change. You're on Pinterest, sir? Wow, the first guy in all of my speeches. I'm serious. That is awesome.
I actually use it a lot.
You use it a lot. Great. That's fantastic. Good. Oh, that's weird. I thought I was the only guy in all of America on Pinterest. And I have to jump on it for work reasons. But we're going to look at Pinterest and how it changed my online results. And I'll show you. It is a network that can be very good for your Google image or very bad if you think you can get away with things. Next, Twitter. Twitter's 140 characters based in the United States of America, and it makes its money on its own ad network. You can post to it from a desktop and also from a mobile device or anything in between. It positively changes and negatively changes your Google results. Okay, we've looked at the green zone. Now I want to look at the gray zone. Now the gray zone is an area where your students want to hang out, but it can be very, very bad for them if they have a little bit less than good wisdom, if you will, right? If they're a little bit less than wise with their posts. So let's take a look at Uvo. I'm going to read off a few of these. There's so many networks that we're going to read a few of them, and then we're going to watch videos on a few of these as well. Uvo is one of the world's largest video and messaging apps. Parents should be aware that Uvo is used by predators to contact underage kids. The app can allow users to video chat with up to 12 people at once. Okay? Why did I make the image so big there on the screen? It's because I want you to know what these look for, what the apps look like in your student's phone. Now, if you get overwhelmed with how many I'm about to show you, you can go back to the front of our website and look at them at any time. That's why I showed you the front, that big button. We update this every 2 weeks. Anastasia in the room does a bunch of the research. She normally doesn't come to my speeches. This is one of the few. And she does the research, I fine-tune it, and we give you a 5-minute video. So, next, Snapchat. Is Snapchat safe? The answer is not necessarily yes. It's not safe. Let me talk to you in a way. How many of us know what Snapchat is and what it claims? Okay, about half the room. I want to talk to you in the way that Snapchat markets itself to your students. So I'm going to pretend like I'm the Snapchat marketing department for 10 seconds. Here's what they say. They say, hey student, hey PVIS student, if you download our free app and put it on your iPhone or your Android for 100% free, you can take a picture of yourself being as silly as you want, and you can put a squiggly on it, you can put text on it, change the colors, and you can send it to one of your friends using from your app to their app, which they downloaded for free also. You can send it to them with all your squigglies and being silly, and we promise you that it will disappear in either 3, 5, or 10 seconds. And we'll make sure, we promise you so much that it'll disappear and go poof, that we made our logo a ghost. Poof, right? Now, do we as adults believe that it'll disappear? Now, do your students believe that? Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, maybe you got to them and you said this is how bad it can be, but most students, they still believe. They go, Mom, Dad, no, these people just made a free app. It's cool. They're doing this because they like it, right? It's because your students have never been lied to, because you're awesome parents. You're here tonight, which means you really care about them, and you're protecting them. So why would they ever think that someone would lie to them, right? Is Snapchat super unsafe? No. Is it sitting on their servers for someone to go in and steal every week? No. But it could, and if Sony, $1 billion company, can get hacked and all their stuff can go all over the web and cause 2 countries to fight, do you think Snapchat, a small we with a bunch of hackers, couldn't get into that? It's much easier, right? So we have to be careful. Now next, Tumblr. Tumblr we have to be very careful of because Tumblr allows porn. They say it in their terms of service. They say you can put whatever you want. And in our 5-minute video, it talks about exactly what they allow. It's ridiculous. So be very, very careful on Tumblr. It's a micro-blogging site that allows these GIFs that are animated that auto-loop and stuff like that. Next, we have Vine. Vine is a 6-second looping video app that's a lot like Instagram, except it's square, and Instagram has gone away from being only square. Josh, what can we do in 6 seconds? In 6 seconds, your students can tell a whole story. And it loops, so they can tell a story really rapidly, and it'll loop, and it'll start to make sense. It turns out that 10 seconds to 15 seconds on Super Bowl Sunday is worth millions of dollars to advertisers. 6 seconds, you can tell a lot of a story as well in there. And some students become celebrities on Vine. Now, how does Vine make its money? Well, students were, Facebook went and bought Instagram. Twitter got jealous. And they said, well, we need to buy somebody, so they bought Vine. So Twitter owns Vine, and their ad network is built into it and everything. WhatsApp is a text messaging service that bypasses text messaging, and it uses Wi-Fi. And it allows you, if you use your phone number to verify your username, it'll say, what's your username? And you put in your phone number, it'll text you that number back. It'll text to that number. And once you verify it, you now have a username. So your very phone number that's in your friends' phones becomes the username that it uses. It's very easy then to use it internationally. It's in the gray zone because it can be good, but it can be bad. And the good thing about it is it has a barrier to entry that you must receive a text to verify that that's your phone number. Josh, take us to the red zone. We're going to watch a video on the After School app real quick. Have you guys had a problem with the After School app at all? No. No. Can I show them a quick video about After School? Great, it's going to scare the pants off you. Okay, after school we're going to watch a 2.5-minute video on it. We'll watch the first half, the scary part. Let's look at Ask FM. Ask FM is one of the godfathers of cyberbullying and anonymous apps. Let's read it real quick. It's a social networking website where people can ask questions with the option of being anonymous. Frank, have you guys had any Ask FM issues here? I don't think so.
One about a year ago, yes.
I think I heard about it,
yes.
Yeah. Burnbook. Burnbook is a really hot app. It's an anonymous app for posting text, photos, and audio rumor messages about others. This video got thousands of views just within the first 24 hours or so. It is how many of us have heard, well, it's based on a movie, and it's a whole 5-minute video about it. Essentially, people create rumor messages, no one knows who they created them, and it's based around a school or a location. People log into this school on Burnbook, you don't need a username, you post something negative and you see other people either comment it up or comment it down. We're going to watch a video on this last one as well, Calculator Private Photo App, so I will skip it and I'll show you exactly why it could be bad. Kick Messenger. Kick Messenger is like WhatsApp, that other app that we were using, and it is a problem because Kick Messenger does not require you to get a text message to verify your identity. It allows you to create any username, and it allows you then to go and talk to anyone. Now the reason it's so bad is because there are robots out there that will create a username and contact people. And they've contacted me, and I use Kik because for work reasons, someone overseas that designs the interior of my book, they don't have a normal phone, they have Skype, and I can use this app to message them and say, let's jump on a Skype call for work. But when I downloaded this app just to communicate professionally with this person, other people popped in and said, hey, are you online? Hey, are you there? Hey, what's up? And all of a sudden I started thinking, well, I didn't give my username out. How does someone know who I am? It's robots trying every username and seeing if a student goes, oh, who is this? Are you from PVIS? Are you? And the students would think, and if I'm confused, thinking, are these my friends? Is this somebody looking for me? Do you think your students are going to be confused? Yeah, because if Josh is confused, then it's genuinely going to confuse somebody, right? So Kik can be very, very dangerous, and it can be full of people that are not the age that they claim that they are. Okay, so please be aware of that. There have been child abductions that I've been asked to comment on TV because of this app. So please be very careful. Next, we have Omegle. Omegle is an anonymous text and video chat room that connects strangers to talk with each other. The app allows you to share personal information and also contains inappropriate and unmoderated content. Secret is an app that allows people to share messages anonymously within their circle of friends, friends of friends, and publicly. And then Street Chat. But before we get to Street Chat, do you see this web URL on the bottom of the screen and everybody watching live on TV right now? This web URL is important, and here's why. Every time we make a new one of these app videos, every one of these is a 4-minute app video. Let's say your kid, all of a sudden, one of these takes over your school, and it's scary. If you go to go.safesmartsocial.com in the URL bar, not in Google, but in the URL bar, and you sign up for our newsletter, it will send you one good app a week and one bad app a week. You're way too busy to watch all these videos, but you do have 8 to 10 minutes a week for the safety of your family. So Anastasia set up, she sends out one of my videos, it automatically sends you one tonight that's good and one that's bad if you sign up there at go.safesmartsocial.com. And if there's a new one that comes out, the reason why you go to that is it's mobile friendly, it's very easy. And we will let you know, hey, you're in one of my speeches, since you've been on our list, a new one's come out that's very, very bad, we want you to watch this. Forward it to your, your staff, your principal, whatever. So that's something to consider. What is the Secret app? Street Chat is a live photo sharing board designed for middle school, high school, and college students. Kids feel more freedom to send mean posts because they do not have to confirm their identity within the app. Okay, so those are some, we have more red zone apps. If this isn't, overwhelming to you, it is to me. Whisper's pretty bad. Whisper is one of the godfather of bad apps too. It's been around a long time. It's an anonymous social network that allows people to express themselves. It reveals their location, which makes it easy for people to arrange to meet up. Let me repeat that. It reveals your location to let you arrange to meet up. It makes it easier for predators to locate and connect with users. These apps are exactly what should be scary at this age group, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Yik Yak acts like a local bulletin board for your area by showing the most recent posts from other users around you. It's popular with high school students, but as soon as it gets in schools, in college it's very tame. In high school and middle school, it causes bomb threats. It causes schools to shut down, so you have to be really careful. YouNow is a popular broadcasting platform where kids watch and stream real-time videos. Users decide whether broadcasters should continue their live videos with thumbs up and thumbs down. There's one that's not on here, it's too new. We didn't put it on this list. It's called Periscope. You sign up for that, it'll email you and you get the Periscope video, okay? Because we're making them every couple weeks. Next week, what am I doing? I'm making one that compares text messaging to Facebook messaging to Kik to WhatsApp. I think those are the 4. We have one massive video that shows you the features of all of them, and you get to decide which one your students are going to use to communicate with friends, okay? All right, let's watch a really good video. This is awesome, I think. I think parents have enjoyed it. Now, do any of you know what this app is? No? Okay, good. We're going to go ahead and fire this guy up.
Do your kids have the calculator app? And how do you find out if your student has it? What is the calculator app? The private photo calculator app is designed to help students hide photos and videos behind an innocent-looking calculator app. This application looks like a calculator, but entering a passcode opens a private area. All files are securely stored in the app and cannot be viewed in the default iPhone camera roll. How does the private photo calculator app work? Well, the calculator app's icon looks similar to other calculator apps. However, in the iTunes store, the app is slightly different. In the upper right, as you can see, the app logo in the iTunes store has a little bit of red to it in the bottom right. But once it appears on your student's phone, it has a green quadrant in the lower right, as you can see the icon shown on your device. When you open the app, it looks like a regular calculator. But to access the secret photos, you need to type a period, then a 4-digit passcode, and then a period again. The calculator app allows you to store photos and videos, and only the person that knows the passcode can access the secret pictures. The calculator app allows you to take pictures using the app or you can select photos to hide from your existing pictures in your camera roll. Pictures can also be shared via email. If you buy a full version for 99 cents, you unlock even more features, including recording the intruder that unlocks the app with the photo and GPS if they enter in the wrong passcode. There are thousands of other secret apps also, similar to this calculator app. I want to show you how to find other secret apps on your student's phone. First, get your student's phone. Next, visit the App Store using that blue logo that you see right there. Next, type in the word secret or the word calculator or any other app name in the top of the App Store. As you scroll through, if you see the word open, then your student has this app. If you see the word get, then your student doesn't have this app and it's asking them to download it. If you see a cloud logo, it means that your student used to have this app in the past, they have deleted it. Let me show you on the far right how this works. We opened up the App Store and we typed in the word calculator in the top. 16,484 results came up. With a quick scroll, we saw the private photo calculator app. Do you notice how it says the word open to the right of it? That means this student has already downloaded it and now it is ready to be opened from within there. But look down below it. The next Calc Made Easy free app says the word get next to it. Therefore, it has not already been downloaded. Now, if you type in the word secret there, also, you can see lots of different secret apps. And as you scroll through it, if you see a cloud next to it, as you can see next to Whisper, you'll notice that this student has already downloaded it, has deleted it, and now it's saying you can download it easily again by clicking the cloud logo. What can parents do to keep their kids safe on the calculator app? We recommend you encourage your kids to delete this app. Please remind your kids that everything eventually is going to be public. Have a dialogue with your kids about sexting and sending inappropriate photos to others. And explain to your kids that they should be careful with sharing their photos with anyone, as they can always be forwarded and shared. I'd like to think honest.
Right. How was that? Is that okay? Okay, that's a pretty important one. Now I want to get a little bit more positive. I want to show you how YouTube can be good. Remember, you're the experts. You decide when your kid becomes public. I want to show you a very rare way that you can use YouTube when you do get ready for colleges. Now, how many of us are talking? I'm not even using the mic. It's pretty easy without it right now. How many of us talk to our students about college? Raise your hand. Half the room. Do you know where your student's dream school is? Anybody? Give me some. If you do, raise your hand. I want to hear it. Which one? The teal.
Stanford, great. Next, anybody have a dream school? Yes. UCLA, great. No, not great. USC. Come on, apply there too. Come on. No, UCLA is wonderful. Yes. In the back, we had somebody raise their hand.
Boston College.
Boston College. Anything else? No? Okay, you guys are shy. Yes. Colorado, great. Okay, so what I want to do is, if you're talking to your students at this age about college, it's really terrific. I unfortunately didn't do this. I'm not going to say I'm perfect, and I ended up going to a good USC, the best, but let's be honest. What I want you to do is continue to do that, and if you haven't, get your kids pumped up about a football team, something that's collegiate, because if they start to decide, I don't know, I'm going to go this direction on social media, then you can say, hey, look, you've been looking at that USC, UCLA football team, you want to play there, you're pumped up about whatever that is. You want to play the violin professionally, you know you need to go to a great music school, and you like this East Coast one. Do you think they're going to Google you? Yeah, Mom, I think they are. Great. Do you think that they're going to want you to post like this in a negative manner, thinking, does snarky look good? No. Okay, great. So here's how YouTube can be used in a really positive way. I want to introduce you to our intern, Jamie. Can YouTube help a student's online reputation? What is YouTube? Well, we all know that YouTube is a free platform for watching and uploading videos. And as you can see on the right, Taylor Swift's video has over 761 million views. But did you know YouTube belongs to Google? That's right, YouTube is owned by Google. And if you have a Gmail or a Google Plus account, it's easy to create a YouTube account also. Since YouTube is owned by Google, links to YouTube videos and YouTube channels are given priority in Google search results over other pages. But how can YouTube help a student's online reputation? Great question. Let me introduce you to our intern, Jamie Zaccaroni. Jamie is 16 years old and she's applying to college soon. When Jamie first started working with us, she had no online footprint, but she did have some very unique qualities. You see, she can speak, read, and write another language called Mandarin. Now, YouTube improved Jamie's Google results. You see, when Jamie first approached us, she had almost no Google results, as you can see on the left. When you would search for her name, all kinds of other people would show up. But now if you search for Jamie, you get a three-dimensional view of who she is. On the right, you'll see her YouTube account comes up first. Next are 3 videos that she posted that are positive. And last, her Google Plus account, because it's tied to YouTube and it's tied to Google. Now here's some YouTube steps for success if you're trying to improve your online image. First, when you're ready for an online footprint, and that means you need to talk to your parents first, and you must be over 13 years old, consider taking the following steps. Consider deciding what subject you can teach, whether it's cooking, crafts, math, volunteering, language, programming, etc. And have a friend use your phone to record you teaching the subject in a 60 to 90 second video. Then you can edit and upload the video in unlisted mode using the free YouTube app on your phone. Now, we're going to look at how Jamie did this. You see, Jamie renamed the title of her video to include the subject and her full name. And the video is titled, How to Say Hello in Mandarin by Jamie Zaccaroni. Next, once Jamie got approval from her parents, she made the video public. Now, when someone searches for Jamie's name on Google or YouTube, this video appears. In fact, not just that video appears, all of Jamie's videos appear. You see, she now can teach people how to say hello in Mandarin, goodbye in Mandarin, where is the restaurant in Mandarin, and all of her good, positive profiles come up above the fold on the first page of Google. When you click on one of these videos, the video opens up, and then you can watch and learn from Jamie. Now, if you're a teenager and you've gotten approval from your parents, consider creating a YouTube channel under your real name. You see, when colleges or employers search for students online, Google will usually display a YouTube link on the first page of results. So it's better if they find your real account rather than accounts that belong to someone else with a similar name. As you can see on the right, there's my YouTube account first, but the third link is a YouTube account from someone else. So the more videos I create, the more further down I move their account. Now let me give you some more YouTube steps for success. Let's use Jamie as a positive example. You can see her account on the right. First, consider setting up your YouTube username to your real name to help Google find you. Example, youtube.com/Jamie Zaccaroni. Then consider linking your profile to your Twitter, your Instagram, and other accounts in the settings part of your YouTube account. Then you can add the same clear square photo of yourself that you use on other networks so that colleges and future employers will know indeed that they found the Jamie that they're looking for. But YouTube isn't just for posting videos. You see, you can learn anything on YouTube. YouTube has thousands of educational videos. You can learn about any new subject in just a few minutes. In addition, students can use YouTube to show their talents. You see, positive videos can turn a student's Google results into a three-dimensional version of their college resume. But it's important to note, you need to manage your reputation on YouTube. You see, comments are public. Colleges and future employers can see your uploaded videos and also videos you like, channels you follow, and comments you made. Visit youtube.com/comments while you're logged into your account to see the comments others are making on your page and the comments you've made on other pages. Now, there are some cons to YouTube if you're young. You see, YouTube accounts...
How was that?
We're saying 16 on?
That's a good question. So, 16 on for YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, 16 on for YouTube would be safer. Now, what I want to tell you that's bad about YouTube, don't let your student that's 13 or under sit in front of YouTube alone. YouTube can be worse than HBO, okay? Stuff that pops up, like, whoa, right? They're saying that. Now, one of the things you may say is, oh, my son is really good at playing video games and he wants to teach other people how to play video games and record those, because there's a few celebrities out there that do that. That is not in any way, I'll tell you right now, going to help their chances of getting into college. Colleges do not want to see, oh, this kid's really good at playing video games, maybe we'll let him in. No. What I would try and do is, if you can with your student, try and change their optics, if you will, and say, why don't we go teach you, you take a programming class on the side and we teach you how to develop a game. And then you can say, hey, here's a great story. I developed a game for people that have vision problems or something really neat. Find a need, do something cool, and have a story, right? The story of Jamie is really neat. It's not, look how great I am, I speak all these languages. No, she teaches people that have no idea what the word Mandarin means. Here's how, if you fly to China, certain parts, you can read, where is the restroom, where is the restaurant, and so on, right? Everything you do must tie to a story, and that story should be helping others. And as long as you can do that, that's good. Playing video games, unfortunately, I get this every speech, it unfortunately has no story. USC, UCLA, Stanford, they're gonna go, that's neat, good luck, right? So, most of you take that not seriously, but some of you probably will. Okay, how can I monitor my kids online? How many of us have Googled our kids? Any of us in the last month, maybe? Okay, all right. How many of us have searched for ourselves online? Okay, great. So I'm going to show you the 5 or 6 ways that colleges are going to search for you online, and you can use these techniques to make sure your kids are safe and smart online. This is it's not a double-edged sword, it's a two-pronged tool that helps very, very much. Some of you at the end of tonight are going to say, Josh, but I need to know, where do I start? And I'm going to remind you of this slide, okay? This could not be more important. By the end of tonight, I hope that you search for your kids online. This is going to be the place where you start. You're going to have a question. Yeah, but is it okay to be on Tumblr if I do this? All that matters is that you know how to search for your student the way colleges are. It could be, that way it'll keep you from being scared. Okay, first of all, you start with Google, the tool that you have, that they have, right? And that's because gone are the days when there were $49 to $250 background checks that took 2 weeks for an expert to go find. No, you've got Google now. It's free, right? They're just going to go search your name. What they're going to do is they're going to search for your first name and your last name on Google. And how do they know that? Because you gave it to them in your application. You think they're going to find all kinds of other students? Yes, they are. And your students agreed. They said yes today and yesterday, right? Because they know most of your students have searched for themselves. They see all kinds of other people. So a college will get frustrated and they'll do this. They'll search for first name plus last name in quotes. Obviously you remove the plus sign. Don't put that plus sign in there. And they'll search for it in quotes because they're saying essentially, without quotes, search for Josh and Oaks, and you're telling Google, find Josh and Oaks anywhere on the page in any order, in any fashion. But as soon as you put quotes around it, you're saying, hey Google, find Josh and then Oaks with a space in between it on the page in that order next to each other. It starts to get really good at what it's doing then. But if they're still confused, they're going to search for first name plus last name plus city, the city that we're in right now, right? They still can't find you, first name plus last name plus school, the high school that your students are going to go to, or this school, or anything else, or organization. And then next, first name plus middle name plus last name if you do help them out, or if you do give that to them. You raise your hand and I said the word help. Give me 1 sec, okay? I was thinking for you. And then last, they're going to search for the word, or for the email address in quotes. And these are really the 5 or 6, that's 7 ways that they're going to search for you. Now, is this set in stone? No. I would say that I'm helping you. If a college looked at this, they'd go, yeah, we probably use the first 3, but in the next 3 years, they're going to use all 7. And that's because I'm an employer. I pay a few people, right, to help me put together the stuff that you see. It doesn't just come out of me. And I need to make sure that the right people are on my staff. The person that's in here, Anastasia, she has the cleanest online image record that you could ever see. She was at one of my speeches at UCLA. I got 150 resumes when I put out an internship in the beginning, and she applied after one of my speeches because she was in the class, and I Googled everyone, and the ones that were good, that seemed like they were the right fit. And I picked based on skill plus a positive online reputation, right? So what we're doing here is Josh being really careful as an employer, also giving the blessing of colleges going, yeah, that's pretty good. That's good. That's more than what we do, but we will be doing that someday soon. Right? So you're a little bit ahead of the pack. Okay, so next, I have a free tool that I've developed. It's actually not free, but it's free for you guys because your school, district, your education ed foundation paid me to be here. I designed a tool that does this for me. I opened it up to my staff, I opened it up to my friends, and then I realized this is pretty cool. Imagine somebody at the end of every week said the following thing. Hey, have you Googled your kids yet this week? Or have you checked their online score on Google? You'd say, I mean, I know how to, Josh, but I'm exhausted. I don't have time to do this, right? I've already got enough stuff to do. What if somebody gave you an email with a bunch of buttons that said, hey, you're busy. If you have time this week for 3 minutes, click all these buttons and it'll take you to Google and do all these formulas for you. You don't have to do the quote. How did Josh, he did the quotes? Was it with the plus sign? What if it's just an email and you just clicked on it from your mobile phone? Well, I made a tool called Footprint Friday. I want you to write this code down. Use code SPEECH to make the tool free. 100% free. There's a coupon code area there. When you enter the word speech, you don't need quotes around it. It will then set the credit card area. It'll disappear, and you can use the whole thing for free. It lets you track 2 kids. 500 families are in this, and I get emails back all the time. I'll show you what parents say about it. This is the page that you land on. You don't need to do it tonight. You don't even need to ever sign up for the thing, but I'm making it free for you. I want you to watch this 4-minute video as to how it works. You need to decide if you want to do this. Hundreds of families have taken 9 to 10 minutes to fill this thing out, and they love it. And then as you scroll down on the page, it's called Footprint Friday. I kind of came up with something like, how do we check our footprint of our students every Friday? You'll get this kind of an email every week. Now the colors may change because we'll get a little bit more graphically beautiful, but it sends you an email. Do you want to search Google Text for Josh Oaks, Google Images, their middle name, the city, the high school, the school, and the email address? It just makes it easy, and it does this for both students in one email. Very, very basic. Here's what somebody said. Kathy writes me, she says, hey Josh, I love this service. I showed my middle school daughter just how easy it is to see her picture, her age, her activities, and her school, her address, and her login info, all based on things she has put on the internet. She was able to see a few older men on her Pinterest, which freaked her out, and she took down her info. Pretty scary, huh? Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, now, that's called Footprint Friday. You can go to our website at Safe Smart Social. If you go to go.safesmartsocial.com, it will email you in 1 hour to say, hey, you need to sign up for Footprint Friday. You click that button, you put in the word speech, it's free. 100% free. Okay? There's nothing in it for me, but I think you're going to love it, and we're going to be friends for a long time. This is really, really cool. I use it every day, and I realize it should be, for my clients' parents, it should be free. Okay. Now, everything that you've seen, your students that I spoke to have not seen. I would have opened up Pandora's box if I had shown them the after-school app and Yik Yak and all these other apps and how to hide photos from their parents, right? So your students have not seen everything up until right now. What we're about to do is take a 5-minute intermission. You can go to the restroom, you can grab water, you can move your legs. I'd like to keep it to 4 or 3 minutes, okay? So walk around, and then I'm going to grab the mic, and we're going to sit down. You can stay for another 30 minutes, and I'll give you a bonus session. I'll show you exactly what your students saw today. So when you go home, you can talk to them and say, oh, yeah, Josh taught you this, and this, and this, and this, right? I gave you parenting tips in the first 60 minutes, and the next 30 is a fast-paced version of what your students saw. Is that fair? Okay, so here's what I want to do. What I'm about to show you, your students have seen if they were in today's school, tomorrow's school, which tomorrow's Ridgecrest. Yesterday was Miralest, I think. Okay? Now what I'm about to do is be very positive on social media, because that's what I want to do. I told your students that social media is very, very good, and I want them to be on it even more, but I want them to use it in a great way. So what we're about to do is, and I walk your students through my background. I ran for politics, the same thing I showed you. Voting for myself on the day of the election, and I knew that I could control my Google results better than any other candidate because I was younger, and I also didn't have the background and all the baggage they had. So I could be light, bright, and polite. And I wrote my books, Light, Bright, and Polite, and I got them inspired, to look to the future. But what does light, bright, and polite look like, students at PVIS? Well, what I'm about to do is show you 2 celebrities on the screen, and we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna giggle a little bit. Your students did. You probably won't. I'm about to show you 2 celebrities that you know of. And we're gonna look at, and here's the #1 question. Which one is more positive? Because I asked your students, do you think that a college is going to search for you online if you apply and you're trying to get into one of the harder majors, or you have great grades and everybody else does? And they said, yes, great. What do you think they want to find on your social media? And I gave them the hint. I said, they're going to look for people that are positive. They don't have time to babysit us. They want leaders. They want positive people. So we're going to play a game where we're going to look at how positive these 2 people are in social media. Let's play Miley Cyrus versus Taylor Swift. Thank you to the moms in the back for making me feel good about this. It's great. Students love it. Parents are usually too tired. but this is a lively school. So while we're looking at their tweets, and remember, social media is not bad, but what we do on it can be very, very bad or very, very good. So what we're about to do is, it's okay to be on Twitter, it's okay to take a couple selfies in life, but how positive we are. While they're tweeting, Josh is going to pretend like he's USC, UCLA, Stanford, or Harvard, or insert the school of your students' dreams, and we're going to ask, if all things are equal, everybody's a 4.0 or more or less, whatever that is, everybody's well-rounded, they've been to other countries, they speak one extra language, what are they going to look for? They're going to look for an attitude. So we're going to look for that attitude. Miley Cyrus will show us how to upset our teacher on Twitter. She's going to show us how to disappoint our coach. She'll show us exactly the tweet to send to be dramatic. She's going to show us exactly the tweet to upset the cheer team. And if you've ever wanted to know the one tweet to get fired, we're going to show you that one too. So here we go. How would we upset the teacher? Miley would say this. This class is so lame. Why am I not home sleeping? Versus, I'm excited for the weekend, right? Now, which one, all things being equal, we're applying to a great school, it's okay to be on social, which one are they going to be more inclined to say, yeah, this resume goes in the good stack? Probably the one on the right? Next, how to upset your coach, the other football team sucks, I hope they lose. Versus, we're up by 24 points, go team. I had your students raise their hand before this, and I said, who wants to play athletics in college? Who wants to be on a sports team? Who wants to, right? Yeah, and they get all excited. Do you think they're going to search for you before they give you that spot on that team? Yes, great. Which one do they want? Well, they're going to want the one that's more positive, right? Now, how to be dramatic. Hey, Steve, I'm glad we broke up. You're a jerk and you made me cry. Versus, I'm so lucky to have great friends that support me, right? One versus the other. God, you are the most... This is really engaging. Last night they were... Sorry if last night any of you were watching on the live broadcast. Versus how to upset the cheer team. Our cheer team needs help. Sally keeps falling. Sad face. Versus next year, I'm trying out for the cheer team. Now, one is a part of the problem, one's a part of the solution. And I asked your students, I said, what do you think they want? Do you think they want somebody on their campus that's just going to create problems, or somebody that's going to go lead a club or an organization that's going to create solutions, right? And I let them make the decision. I'm not here to tell your students what to do. I'm merely here to show them their future and how they can live that. The nicest thing, and I think I mentioned this in the beginning, the nicest thing that I could ever get as a compliment is for your students to get caught searching for themselves online and managing their own online image. Because that means that they're starting to think about their current actions and how it'll affect their future, right? I hope you catch them, if you approve of them being on Google, I hope you catch them searching for you, and you guys can, after dinner one night, go to Google and say, let's search for somebody fun, let's search for me, and you should probably do this on your own first, right? I always throw that one in there. Do this on your own, make sure nothing inappropriate comes up. Mommy, who's Kim Kardashian? Do this and then find a couple things and do some searches. But it's fun for students to look. Now, one of the key takeaways is your student will always say, Dad, I would never post like that. I would never say something like that. And that's okay for them to say, but they would also say, hey, Mom, I would never drive 100 miles an hour in that car because I know that that would happen. However, if you show them what can happen when driving 100 miles an hour and they get in a car wreck, it doesn't mean that they wouldn't go 100, but they'll never go over the speed limit as soon as they know, or they're less inclined now that they know. So it doesn't mean you don't tell them what bad stuff can happen. We do the same thing in driving an automobile. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about a company called Cisco. I don't work for this company. I've never gotten paid for them, by them. But I do like this story, and I think it's powerful to tell your students. You see, a lot of other speakers will talk about what not to do, but I want to get inspired about the future. It's okay to talk to your students about their career someday. It's going to help them self-correct, and now we're looking at the bigger picture. So first, I asked your students, raise your hand if you have a best friend in the room. Just about everybody raises their hand. Statistically, best friends come about when you bump into the same people 5 days a week, decide I want to do my homework on this weekend with that person, and then I want to hang out after school with the same person, and you pretty soon you realize you have a BFF there, right? But at a company, same thing. You have 72,000 chances at this company to bump into people and have a great friend group, have a couple best friends that you all hang out with. And if you've ever wanted to travel, you have 65 plus chances of different countries to travel to do the work that you like. And if you're tired of asking your parents for the latest iPhone, there's probably a pretty good salary in the revenue of $12 billion a year to buy the iPhone of your dreams. And they make some really neat stuff. They make Wi-Fi devices that go in over 300 million households nationwide. So would you think that this is a pretty cool company for your kids to work for right out of college? Yeah, pretty neat, right? Well, I want to show you exactly how somebody got fired from them. So, this young woman, she applies to work at Cisco. Nice young woman, she just finished a great school, a great college. She had great grades, she looked great on the application. She gets a call a week later and they said, hey, we love your application, we'd like to invite you in for a first round interview. Great, and this is what I want for all of your students. You see, your job is to make your students wholesome and great, and this school is doing a wonderful job of that. My one role is to help your students shine online. Take everything that you've taught them and make sure that it ends up a little bit on Google so that Google can show off their Twitter, their Instagram, wherever else they want to be. I want to show them how to take wholesomeness, put that digitally online. This young woman got that first round interview because she shined in her application. They said, come in and interview. She interviewed, it went really well. She did perfect in person, which your students will do as well. She got a call a week later and they said, hey, we would love to offer you a job. You were great on your application. You were wonderful in person. We'd like to offer you the chance to come and join the Cisco family. What do you say? And she said, yes, I owed you that. She said, yes. They said, great, we'd like to offer you a salary, benefits, an iPhone, and the whole shebang. Great. So she said yes, she hung up the phone, and what do you think she did next? She went to Twitter. Here's the exact tweet that she sent. She said, Cisco just offered me a job. Now I have to weigh the fat paycheck against the daily commute and hating the work. Now, do you think that Cisco saw this tweet? Yeah, they did. There should be no hesitation. Yes, they saw it. And that's because brands listen online, on Twitter and everywhere else. Now, do you think brands listen whether you include the @ sign or not, whether you tag them or not? They do. They hear it just about every time. And that's because brands, and I have a corporate side to my company. I got my start, and we still by day run marketing for some brands that you know of, some very big ones. We listen for them on Twitter. And if you use their name or you don't use their name on Twitter, or you include the @ sign or you don't, we know when you're complaining. So Cisco for sure saw this. They listen both with and without the @ sign because they want to know if you hate their product, they want to send you to an 800 number to fix it quickly, to find out maybe you had a setting wrong. They don't want you telling statistically 12 other people and being angry at the company and throwing it out and then complaining, right? They want to get to you quickly and help. So they did see this, and a senior level person said this. They said, who is the hiring manager? I'm sure they would love to know that you will hate the work. We here at Cisco are versed in the web. Essentially saying, hey, the internet, we power the internet with our Wi-Fi signals, our devices. It's not too hard to jump on the very thing that we power, right? So, unfortunately, do you guys think that she got this job? No, yeah. Unfortunately, before she got to see how very fat the paycheck was, this opportunity was gone quicker than a Snapchat photo. It just went poof, right? So, you should be saying to yourself, Josh, you're being way too hard on this young woman. You said that she went to a really good school. You said that she got great grades. You said that she was great in an interview. She could just go interview anywhere else. Do you think the next place would Google her? Yeah. Unfortunately, when they see her new resume, which is Google, and this is the new resume of all your students, and they search for her name or those 2 words, 3 words, Cisco fat paycheck, they would find these results. You see, these results are now cluttered with this incident. This incident was picked up by CNN, ABC, NBC, Huffington Post. So now, we're getting back to the one theme. Does your student look positive on social media? Now, they could be a wholesome, great person, and they could volunteer, and they could be awesome. But if on social media we see something that's snarky, because students really do feel that it's okay talking to their friends to be snarky and funny and sarcastic, which is fine. But as soon as they cross that line and they go to Twitter, And as soon as they cross that line, they go to Instagram, it turns into something that's, uh-oh, now it seems as though that's who they are, right? This young woman, does she look positive? Would you hire her? It would be very difficult, right? She has an uphill battle. Now she'll get over it. Maybe she'll become a public speaker on it and teach people way better than I would, right? But the point is, your new resume is now Google. And you have to ask yourself, how positive are you? Because this stuff is going to end up there in a very good way. And I don't want to scare you and say, no, we're never going to go online. I'm going to show you in a positive way how to be online. Okay, now, the 3 words that have kept me out of trouble online and almost let me win an election. Before I ever press send on Instagram or Snapchat or anything else, I ask, is this something that's light? Is it positive? Is it fun? If it is, check. Is this something bright? Is this smart? Think, Josh, are you going to get fired before you ever get a job at Cisco? If it is, if it's bright, then check. And last, is this polite? Is this something your principal is going to be proud of, your teacher, your parent, or anybody else? Then it's light, bright, and polite. Okay. Now raise your hand if you know how to click the 2 buttons on your phone and take a screenshot. The front bottom button and the side or top button, right? Many of us know that. You hit the 2 buttons on your iPhone and you take a screenshot. It takes something that used to be very temporary, and it becomes all of a sudden very untemporary, very permanent in your camera roll. And perhaps when you're FaceTiming, like I FaceTime with my niece and nephew, I can take a screenshot of that FaceTime image and it becomes saved in my camera roll. I can share it anywhere. Students do the same thing on Snapchat, right? It becomes very untemporary. Well, I want to tell you a story about how when you're sending your friends Snapchats, it can actually get you in big trouble if you don't ask for their permission first before sharing it, and second, if you don't watch the whole video. Here's what happens. First of all, this is Blake. Blake sends me a happy birthday video on Snapchat. It's awesome. He goes, hey, happy birthday to you. And then at the end of the video, well, I downloaded it and I sent it to him. I used another app to download it. Not so that he could play it once or just for 24 hours or 1 replay, which it sometimes allows, but so that Blake could then play it 1,000 times if he wanted to, or he could share it anywhere else. I sent him the file via text to his iPhone. He called me with a look on his face that looked like this. And he said, hey, how did you do that? How'd you download that video? And I said, I used another app right about here to download the video. And he said, I said, can I post this on my Facebook? And he said, no, didn't you watch the whole video? No, I didn't. He said, dude, at the end of the video, I said, hey, happy birthday, Josh. Josh, tomorrow to celebrate, why don't I ditch work, call in sick, lie to my employer, and we'll go surfing, right? To celebrate your birthday. So, needless to say, it's very good that I asked his permission, because we never know the inside jokes that could be happening in there, right? And I didn't watch the end of the video. So, moral of the story is we have to be careful. We send more Snapchats to our friends than anyone else, and our friends could accidentally not know and get us in trouble, because things can be downloaded and shared. Most students think that they can't. There's other apps out there. Okay, what about pictures? I showed your students today that if one of my techniques is that I volunteer my phone to control my image. And what I mean here is when somebody says, hey, let's take a group photo, let's take a picture, we're at a barbecue, I always pull my phone out and I put it in camera phone mode really fast right before everybody else. I throw the camera thing. If you open your iPhone, no matter what iPhone you have, if you open it up, in the bottom right, you can click this little thing up and it goes into camera mode really quickly. And so I do that first, and what happens is then I volunteer my phone to take the photo, and I tell the person, hey, take 4 or 5 photos, I'm probably going to blink. And then at the end of the night, who's the one with the pictures? Is it my friends, or is it me? It's me. And then I get to decide, am I going to post the one where we look silly, or dorky, or wild, or am I going to pick the one where not only my friends look great around me, but I look great in the middle, right? And that way, this is exactly what colleges tell me all the time. They say, Josh, while you're speaking to students and while you're traveling around talking to them, can you please let them know it's not about the quantity of photos that they take at an event, it's about the quality. We judge them based on how their friends behave a little bit as well, because it's hard not to, am I right? So, I taught your students today that it's more about a quality of one photo from one event where you have 20 to choose from and you pick the best one to post just that one. And that's because every photo that you send, every post that you send is like a button on an elevator. It either takes you up or it takes you down. Okay. Now, I've already asked you who searched for themselves online this month. I want to show you, I've already shown you the ways to Google yourself because you're in the parent session. I told your students this too. Here's how I would search for myself. Josh Oakes in quotes, Josh Oakes Santa Monica, Josh Oakes Santa Monica High School. I didn't really go to Santa Monica High School, but I throw it in there because it's easy. Josh Oakes Disney Studios, where I used to work. And then let's look at some of my Google results. Okay, we have the non-quotes up here, we have the quotes. These are two different sets of Google results. What I want you to see is that my personal website comes up first. Interesting, right? Because Google says, hey, this is the most authoritative website we've seen with these 8 letters that you're Googling, Josh plus Oakes. So it throws that up first. Next are images, which are very easy to get to from this tab. We'll look at them in a minute. And then we have LinkedIn, we have my corporate website, and then we have Twitter. There's actual tweets in Google now on my first page above the fold, the first 5 or 6 things. This is how very dangerous it can be. You see Google and Twitter right now, they always go in and out of love of each other, and they're dating right now, meaning they have a handshake agreement saying, Google says, hey Twitter, we love your data. And Twitter goes, all right, we'll give you our live data to put into search results. So when someone searches for a username or a name and there's a username close to it and it seems like that's an authoritative person, then it puts them up there. And that's the case for me. I have nothing to hide. Every one of my tweets is light, bright, and polite. But are your students' tweets light, bright, and polite? So you got to ask yourself that. And that's why I'm asking you, begging you, go home and search for your students tonight. Go home, search for them, search for yourself, and then bring them in the room when you're okay with what you see, and you can laugh about it together, like, who's this guy? That's silly. Maybe we should use some of Josh's tips to overcome that. Okay. You can now, Josh Oakes Arcadia High School. I grew up near Pasadena. Santa Monica. Why is there a video there? Huh. That's because when I did a pilot project with Universal Studios, they put my high school in my bio, where I grew up locally. And it comes up in a video. Now I'm proud of that video, I'm okay with it. It's actually very in line with my career, so it's fine. But, very different, that video doesn't show up anywhere else unless you search for it that way. Next, my middle name and my email address. Different results. I want you to know that there are results out there under your students maybe, so be very, very careful with that. Now, I want to show you the 2 ways to search for yourself, the right way and the wrong way to use Google. First, the wrong way. Here's Google. You see my little headshot in the upper right? Well, that means that I'm logged into Chrome, I'm logged into Gmail, YouTube, or any of the Google products that Google owns, right? And what happens is when you search for yourself then, on the left I'm logged in, and on the right I'm not. This is, unfortunately, when I'm logged in, I get different results that a college or future employer wouldn't see on the right. Well, Josh, why aren't they getting those results? Well, Google's job is to take stuff you search for a lot, or you share a lot, or it thinks you're close to that topic, and it tries to give you personalized results for it. So if you search for pizza here at this school, PVIS, you're not going to get pizza in New York. You're going to get pizza within a 1 mile or hopefully closer version, right? Or you can order it. It knows what's up. It's trying to be the smartest thing possible. So Josh, how do I go away for this one experience from personal results and see what colleges and future employers will see? How do I get to that? 2 ways. 1, you could log out of YouTube, Gmail, Google, Facebook, Instagram, and everything else, and then go to Google and go, all right, let me search for myself. But why is that annoying? Because you have to remember your passwords, right? We have a lot more going on than just remembering that. So there's a second way to do it as well. You can go to the upper right or the upper left, and in Chrome, you can click this little tiny button, the menu button, and you can click New Incognito Window. And in the upper left, you can click on Firefox, Internet Explorer, or Safari, and you can click New Private Window. What are you showing us, Josh? Well, if you click on these buttons, it opens up a new window, and it has this creepy little spy guy in the upper left. And the little spy guy is saying, hey Josh, I kept all of your old tabs intact in the previous window behind this. For this new window, this new experience, I hid your cookies so that when you jump over to Google, you're now logged out, and if you stay logged out and you search for yourself, you'll see, these are the results that we're looking for, right? Any of you are Star Wars fans out there? You know, I don't know if you got that one. Yeah. Okay, hold on one sec on that. Let me be dorky. Just savor that for just a second. Okay. And it is exciting that today is Back to the Future Day. Is that amazing? That's really neat for me. Okay. What do you think they're going to click on first? They're going to click on images, right? College and future employer. So let's go click on that. Do you have a question that's pressing right now, or do you want to keep towards the end? Oh, I thought you in the red. I thought you raised your hand.
You said Star Wars fans.
Oh, you raised your hand for that. Oh, you're a total geek. That's great. Yeah, that was awesome. I thought it was a question. Okay. Yeah, that was great. These are not the images that you are looking for. So colleges, we agree, they're going to click on that. 2 ways to find images. If you don't see them come up on your students' Google results, you can click up here at the image tab, or you can click on the images it gives you. Let's go click on those images. So here we have me at volunteer events on the day of the election, holding my sign in the rain, because it rained on that day. You have to hold your sign and get as many votes as you can, right? People vote for who they see right before they go to the voting booth. It's weird. Statistics are weird. Okay, why is there a baby dressed as Harry Potter on my Google results? Well, I had to get into Pinterest a couple years ago. It's my job to get good at these networks to then find out how it affects your family, right? So I went to Pinterest, which looks a lot like this. It's almost like these Google image results. There's a lot of content up there. And I made 3 folders, which they call boards. One was for cars, because I built a street rod with my dad when I was a kid. Anything I see, I drag into there. It doesn't mean I download it and rename it and then re-upload it. It means you merely touch it and put it in there, and it's still on their network. Another one is a travel board folder, because I travel a lot to do this all over the country. And then the last one was adorable things, and that's where you put babies and puppies and stuff like that, right? Now, I am an uncle of a couple little nuggets that are adorable, but does it look a little bit weird that Google changed my online image results when I dragged baby Harry Potter into the adorable bucket? Does that look a little weird when you search for a social media safety guide? A little bit weird, a little bit out of context. You may think, oh, but there's a story behind it. No. If a college was searching for me, now that's pretty adorable and not that weird, but still it's different than my story. So the moral of the story for you is, whatever your student's story is it they can read, write, and speak Mandarin? Well, then those images should come up, something around that. It shouldn't be them taking a selfie, acting like Miley Cyrus with their tongue sticking out and having a bunch of red cups. Now, how did you get rid of baby Harry Potter? Well, first of all, anything that you do online could possibly change your Google image results, so you need to be careful. If your student thinks they can run around the web having fun, saving a lot of these infographics, it's like the quickest way to get drunk and stuff like that. Look how easy it was for me to change my image results with baby Harry Potter with just 1 click. But I had nothing to hide online, so I went in and cleanly removed that and realized anything that people see on, they're not going to enter from the front on Pinterest, they could enter from my Google results. So to get rid of baby Harry Potter, you click on baby Harry Potter, he goes full screen in the Google images. There's a little button next to him then that says, visit this website. And you click on that, and you can find baby Harry Potter, you can unpin him on Pinterest, and all of a sudden he's gone 3 to 5 days later. But if it was anything less appropriate than that, it would be quite bad, right? Okay, next. This is where I ask your students, do you feel comfortable with when you apply to a college, do you feel comfortable going in and saying, hey, you've seen my application, you've seen who I'm going to be 9 to 5 in class, but I want to show you my private Instagram or Twitter, what you may not have seen. I want to show you that I'm going to live on your campus, and so I volunteer, I babysit, I travel, I do all this different stuff. You're getting a positive person, right? If you feel comfortable doing that, or your student does, and they're proud of every photo, then we're moving in the right direction. If they don't, well, they're in middle school, so we need to start working on that. Now I want to show you, we're in the final run of the presentation. So I want to show you how some of my friends post online. First of all, here is Camille. Camille works at one of the world's largest digital agencies, and she got a job at our firm as well by posting positively online. Did she work at a big company before that we're trying to steal her from? No, she just had a positive online footprint and a hard work ethic, and she got an internship with us. And then she went to one of the world's largest agencies. She got a shot, and it ended up changing her career. But here's how she posts, and then she's in my book because she's so good at this. She posts in a way that is light, bright, and polite. She is of age and could drink and have red cups in here, but instead she doesn't have any of that. No peace signs, no Miley Cyrus lookalikes. She says, thank you to my friends for this. Now next, Rich DeMuro, over here on the far right. He's on KTLA Channel 5 News. Instead of saying, hey, I'm really good with these tech tips, no, he goes and volunteers, and he puts his friends in the photo, and he said, thank you to Shelter Hope Pet Shop for letting us share some of our tech tips with you. Keep up the great work helping these dogs find loving homes, right? So it's more of a thank you to this organization. And if they make it interesting about a story, right? Next, here's Lisa on the far right. She runs digital marketing for Disney Land at the park, but instead of taking a selfie on one of the rides, she puts her team members together and says, thank you to my team members, or special thanks for all that they do. Once again, classy group photo, something's interesting, people want to talk about it. You can take a few selfies, that's fine. Your students are normal, they want to have fun. But this helps them stand out when it is time. Right? Next, if you've ever wanted your student to be in the Miss America pageant, consider being like Kelsey on the far left, Miss Utah. She, instead of taking selfies, she says, thank you to my friends that supported me over the last year in this pageant, so that I can travel the country training other students, right? It's more about others, and then all of a sudden, what you're doing is very humble, and it becomes about the experience. There's only 1 or 2 students today that will ever do this that I spoke to, unfortunately. This gets me hired, it gets me put on TV, almost got me elected, and it works for students all over. It doesn't mean they have to do it this way. It means they need to make this their own. This is an age-old technique. It doesn't matter the network, it doesn't matter where it's at. It's simply humble, and it shows colleges, hey, I'm less about me and more about the experience, and there's more to me than just, I'm less narcissistic. So, more about the experience, more about thanking people. Once again, backyard, Easter egg hunt. It's days like this that make me thankful. Camille, once again. And then, how many of us have a dog, a fish, or a cat at home? Raise your hand. Most of the room has a pet, right? That's a great chance. Here's my family and I with our dog. It's a great chance for you to take a picture with something that everybody loves. In admissions offices, 80% of them are going to love a dog or a cat or whatever. You have that at home, great chance to put something in there. You already have stuff you can talk about in pictures. Here's a senior that I'm going to show you what she posted right before she got accepted to her dream school. She posts this on Twitter. Elise says, I'm so proud of my BVHS Tigers. Shout out to Chance for being my favorite player and best friend. No peace sign, no tongue sticking out. Chance would be proud of this ending up on a billboard, and so would she. She applied to KU, and while she was applying, there was a power outage. Instead of complaining, she writes this. I'm so thankful to have such a great family. I had a great day even with our power outage. Hashtag 'tis the season. Here's what a college would say. They'd say, wow, our freshman dorms, they have a power outage every month. They have something wrong, or we have a fire drill. We're always rushing them out to keep them safe. We care about them. We know more than they do. But they complain like they own the place, right? If this is how positive this young woman is, we need her on our campus immediately for an interview. These are the kinds of positive people that we need. And that's how colleges look at that. Next and last, she got accepted to KU, her dream school, but instead, when she was touring it to see what size her dorm was, instead of complaining how small the dorm was, she says, I had so much fun on my college visit to KU today, I was so ready for next year. Classy photo next to the mascot, right? Here's my last photo of the night. This young man knew so very much that he wanted to get discovered by colleges that he changed his username on Twitter to his real name, first and last. And he wrote a handwritten note, and he said, Dear colleges, please accept me, I'm a good person. Sincerely, Jonathan. Right? Essentially saying, hey, you're looking for the Jonathan, I'm the Jonathan you're looking for through a lot of them. I want to let you know I'm the one that just applied. I have nothing to hide. Here's my Twitter profile. Come and look at me. Yes, I'm normal. There's a few selfies. I'm silly, but you're going to like what you see. I'm not going to hide because I know other people are probably less wholesome than I am, so I need to put my best foot forward now that I'm 17, right? Now this one picture got picked up and a lot of people wrote about it in a positive way. They said, why does this young man get it and most don't? Adults just want to find you. They understand you're normal. They understand you're going to take selfies, you're going to be silly, but they just want to see a positive person more often than not. Okay? Now, my formula is very simple. Volunteer somewhere. Have something good to say that's not about you. Don't, it keeps you complain less when you're doing good for others. Take a photo of you at an animal shelter, hospital, senior home, or walk a neighbor's dog. Take a classy group photo while you're doing this. Say thank you to this organization for giving me the opportunity to do this activity. And you could also say, with their help, here's the outcome, if you want. All right, what a night, huh? This is great. Okay, that is pretty much the end of it. I'm going to open it up for a few questions if you want. All right, thank you for coming out, everybody. This is great. Make sure you jump on that newsletter so that we can keep up with you in the future. And use Try Footprint Friday. Please go try out, go to that Footprint Friday tool and use the word speech to set it to 0. Have a great evening, everybody.